Welcome back, everybody, to Week 6 of the Challenger Finals here at ESL Hearthstone Legendary Series, brought to you by Newegg.com. Our next series, I believe we're dipping into the lower bracket to find out who is going to be eliminated first. It's top 4 finals, where the people who finish first and second get a spot in tomorrow's main event. We have Ozzy and Jirachie about to play, and then, of course, the winner of that will wait the loser of the winner's match.
Yeah. And of course, that losers match that will be coming up now, Ozzy versus Jirachie. Winner will still have to win a couple more series, well, at least to win. Only one more series after that to move on to the finals. But of course, the loser won't be able to participate back tomorrow. They can play in the Sunday Cup again to try and qualify for the Challenger Finals again. And they will go home with a little bit of cash, but they won't be moving on to the Legendary Series match day tomorrow.
No, unfortunately not. Not everybody can, at least. That's just how the cookie crumbles. So now we know these guys' decks. We have a pretty good understanding of what they're bringing. I feel like it's very similar with Handlock and Warrior. And, you know, Paladin seems to be Ozzy's choice, but we also have, well, I believe it was Druid?
There was a Hunter, I believe.
Oh, you're right. It's the Hunter. Hunter from Jirachie.
Yeah.
So Hunter is the variance here. Which might be an impact, depends on how it lines up, but I feel like the more I see Handlock versus Hunter, the more I feel like Handlock is doing okay in that matchup by a fair margin, especially if you're running a very conservative double anti-heal bot build, so that way you can be safe against all kinds of aggro.
Yeah, indeed, and there was always a time where Handlock, as long as they could stabilize just a little bit, they could usually push through for enough damage to be able to beat Hunters, but now with the anti-heal bot, it just really pushes that over the edge. But you can see the matchups on your screen. It's going to be Jirachie's Handlock versus Ozzy's Paladin first off, and then Warrior versus Ozzy's Zoo, and then it's going to be Hunter versus Warrior to finish it off. So a little bit back and forth as far as these matchups go.
Yep, that was actually my bad. The Hunter will be if it matches up against Warlock, he'd be against Zoo.
Yeah. Oh, actually, this is actually pretty good for Ozzy. Maybe with the exception of the first matchup. I think that Warlock...
You think Paladin is weak against the Handlock? Well, I think we're about to find out whether or not he should have went with it.
It depends. It depends. I think it's very close to even. But a lot of it depends on some of the deck choices. If you have some harder hitting creatures, or depends on if you cut equalities or not. I don't know if we saw equalities, and I've actually seen some competitive Paladin decks that either run one equality or no equalities.
But, you know, equality is still very, very strong in that matchup specifically. So that's the one that I'll be looking for, and we're not going to avoid it whatsoever. I think the first game will decide whether or not. And, of course, it won't be like if Paladin wins, I'll be like, haha, TJ, I was right.
No, you will.
I will say that.
I'd expect you to.
But what I mean by that, TJ, is, well, you know what? I win today, but tomorrow it could be the other way around.
Okay. Thanks. You're so friendly, Frodan.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, I would be right this time, but it's very easy to say that, and then the Handlock could be winning its Paladin tomorrow all day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have to see going into this matchup which one's going to come out on top. I'm actually going to give the edge to Handlock, of course.
Okay.
But Ozzy, going into the next matchups, he has Zoo going into Warrior, and then Warrior going into Hunter. So traditionally, both of those matchups are in favor of the deck that Ozzy chose. So there is I'd say that Ozzy might come out on top of this. Jirachie, he might be a little tilted from his first series. He didn't win a single match. It was very one-sided in Gooby Sencho's favor. So he's going to want to prove himself, but how much is that 3-0 going to play into his psyche?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Jirachie was hyped up by one of our admins as a real contender, but he looks like a real pretender right now. Oh.
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier. For those of you joining us, he actually is the Finnish Pokemon
national champion. And you know, like he's actually a pretty good player from what I was told. It's just, you know, you don't want to go out 0-6 or like just not winning a single game. That's just fair. It's like even if you get this far in the tournament, everyone's just gonna remember that you lost and without winning a game. Yeah. So the first game is going to be important to set the bar of the entire series. Here we go, Handlock versus Paladin. This matchup is very fun for me. I like actually the very delicate tightrope balance between Paladin and not trying to evoke the wrath of the Handlock.
Okay. He just painted a nice picture for me there. I thank you for that. But is the Pokemon community is actually still pretty big. I was trying to think, like, gauge in my head how impressive.
It turns out a lot of people really do play Pokemon competitively. So.
Yeah.
I was watching the stream for the World Championships not too long ago, and there was like 20,000 people watching.
It's a big community, yeah.
Really good for Twitch. You know, I don't think Pokemon CCG or TCG rather.
Yeah.
When I think Twitch.
And a lot of the players that like play another TCG or CCG, when they play Hearthstone, they also continue to play the card game that was at their roots. So like Magic players, Pokemon players, sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh players as well.
Sure.
Or even the smaller community ones. They always go back to their old game as well. A lot of skills and strategical thinking crosses over between some of the games.
Well, already we see some good things developing for Ozzy, at least. He's got the Mustafar Battle and Quartermaster combination. He's got a very sturdy minion early on. And on the other side, Jirachie now has both of his Ideal 4 drops. He's got AoE, which is so important against Paladin. Like, I've actually started keeping AoE deliberately because I'm afraid of Quartermaster.
You have such great ways to deal with that too, because a Hellfire deals with even Quartermastered Silverhand recruits.
But not double Quartermaster, because then
No.
it's just
No.
5/5s.
Then you just might as well concede. He does have an owl as well, or well, both players have an owl, but Ozzy specifically to deal with a Twilight Drake if that's the 4 drop of choice. Well, coin make things a little bit awkward.
Yeah, I think Farseer still is more than okay here. It most likely will absorb some of the heat away from you, and more importantly, it gives you something to do. That's a pretty nice draw,
That's
though.
pretty fantastic, I'd say.
Now, do you use 2 of the small guys, or do you use the Divine Shield?
Light's Justice and the Divine Shield, I'd say, because you got Quartermaster coming in next turn.
So you just go for the greed.
Go for the greed.
Oh man.
Oh.
If he has Hellfire though.
Oh baby, a triple. And I think that okay, this is tough. What do you play here?
I think you go for the highest health creature. Twilight Drakes. Actually, I think Mountain Giant's okay. Oh man! Don't mind if I do. Okay, but here's the thing: you have to kill it off because of Shadow Flame.
You got to trade in, but I think you trade in as little Silverhand recruits as possible.
You have to trade in 2. There's no way about it.
No, both shielded mini bots.
Yeah,
it's only 7.
Yeah, so
wow.
you need to trade in 2.
Math is hard.
Math is hard.
So 2 Silverhand recruits, and then you have to make the choice of whether or not...
I keep the Divine Shield.
Yeah, I'd keep the Divine Shield as well.
And then you push in for 8 damage. Pretty reasonable.
And then you still have 2 Silverhand recruits left for the second Quartermaster.
Don't do it, Ozzy. Don't be greedy and just all in. Like, that's just a way for you to lose.
He's
like, I have 2 consecrations and a silence.
But Dan, that's 16 damage.
Also, oh wow, I think Ozzy may have also done this a little quick because he did have an Iron Beak Owl at his disposal. Yeah. Oh my gosh, he did have an Iron Beak Owl. But I guess it's his way to get past taunts. Like maybe you don't have to use it to dissect the Twilight Drake.
And this way, well, I guess either way, he wouldn't be playing around Hellfire that much. But next turn, if those Silverhand recruits get buffed, once again, and at that point you have to think, well, if he didn't have an AoE by this point, will he have it now? Should I not Quartermaster yet and wait till I have more Silverhand recruits? Try and get as much value out as possible. But I think a lot of it depends on what's going to come out here. A Mountain Giant would still be a little bit tough to deal with. Because even if you make those Silverhand recruits 5/5, it's an awkward trade. Because you can't trade 1 Silverhand recruit and shield a mini-bot. You can take 8 damage by doing that if you really want to. Or Wait.
You can coin out either the taunts or the
yeah, because that would have actually been dangerously close to lethal, with just on board with the quartermaster. So
for 10, 11, 13 damage right now this turn. Crazy.
Do you go for it and try and seal it with a double consecrate the following turn? Bank on your opponent to not have an anti-heal bot.
It's definitely idealistic. It's actually not that easy of a turn because, again, like we said, you could be overextending. So what are some things that we could pick up from Ozzy's point of view? He doesn't have Hellfire. He would have used it.
I think
he's afraid of dying, which is why he taunted.
I think quartermaster and then using a swing of your face to finish clearing off the mountain giant to protect your second Silverhand recruit would be a pretty decent line of play. But this fits the curve, so I am in agreement.
Do you kill off the Sun Fury?
The answer is no.
I guess it wouldn't matter for Shadow Flame purposes.
Well, Shadow Flame would completely clear the board here.
Yeah, he can use Shadow Flame to. Well, yeah, he actually can use a Mountain Giant here.
Yeah, he could throw the Sunfear Protector into the shielded mini bot, the Mountain Giant into the Piloted Shredder, and then he'd be able to clean up whatever came.
Is there an alternative? Can he use his Ancient Watcher instead?
Yes.
It's too risky.
You'd be leaving. You'd have a 4 health Mountain Giant at that point, though.
I wonder.
It's too risky because he might kill him with True Server Champion.
Yeah.
He needs to. I think he definitely needs to be very careful about this. Attacking the Quartermaster does imply he wants to go for an Ancient Watcher Shadow Flame, right?
It does. Otherwise, he would attack the shielded mini bot. But I guess he values the killing the Quartermaster off more than the.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So it is a Shadow Flame on the Mountain Giant.
Just a little bit of it.
It was so that way he could preserve health on the Sun Fury Protector. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And lo and behold, it was definitely the right move to clear off the entire boards because True Silver Champion is a very important draw. I still say you take it and whack the face.
Either way, it would have been the same. Just in this scenario, he uses Owl.
Oh,
Because the Sunfury Protector would have gone to the shielded mini-bot. The Mountain Giant would have gone into the Pilot Shredder, which wouldn't have mattered. Unless, what could he have gotten from the Piloted Shredder that would have stopped that plan? Nothing, I don't think. Maybe another Death Rattle. That's a possibility, like a Haunted Creeper.
I would definitely like to see him equip this Choose Over and attack. Right? Because you do have, Oh, well, I guess Quartermaster. I feel like it gets destroyed too easily, and then you lose your window of opportunity to be able to do everything, right? Of like being able to use True Silver Champion with consecrations, because now Jirachie just has to heal up and clear, and then profit.
It's true.
Like add in some question marks.
Yeah.
Profit. Antique heal bot clear question mark profit.
How to handlock. That's the rundown right there. Yeah, I mean, even if he had pushed through with True Silver Champion, like the same scenarios would have stopped him in his tracks. Like there's, I guess, pushing for that extra damage would, the outs for Jirachie would have been the same in this situation, whether or not he did this play or the True Silver Champion play. Like an anti-heal bot would still put him out of range. A taunt would still make it hard for him. Maybe he was just banking on his opponent getting greedy and tapping, but that wouldn't happen. I guess if he had stayed at 6 and not put a taunt up, he could have True Server Champion and consecrated to surprise him. But, I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yikes. That's not really the card you're looking for.
Not at all. And at this point, he just consecrates just to start whittling away at the health of these giant creatures on the board.
Yeah, but now this is where Antique Healbot can lock away the game. Almost indefinitely.
Yeah. Can he afford to tap here?
Yeah, I think so. The only thing that you'd be afraid of dying to burst-wise would be Ragnaros or, like,
even then he'd be
Avenging Wrath, I suppose?
Even then he'd be at 10 health, though.
Yeah. But if there's anything that we've seen from players to players, it seems like they're very safe. Very, very safe. So no tap. And just attack for 11.
Yeah. Put him on lethal next turn if you can't clear.
He's used both Quartermasters, so the 1/1s are no longer as threatening as you'd like to think they are.
Still a nuisance, but not really too much when you have a Volt Giant available. And I mean, what outs does he have here? Knife Juggler. Not one of them.
Well, he can get a couple of juggles off this. So Knife Juggler, Suicide. Get 2 extra juggles, 3 juggles. Yeah, and you got Consecration afterwards. He might be able to do some really fun stuff here. 3 damage. In fact, he might be able to board clear.
Oh yeah, with the Haunted Creeper, it makes Knife Juggler get a little bit more value.
Yeah, emphasis on might though. It does depend on how these juggles line up. Oh
nope.
man, so the face is not good. Oh
this
wow!
This needs to hit.
This is for like
the Molten
surviving.
Giant. Oh!
And that's game.
He's dead. That's it. He had a couple opportunities, but did not get the juggles that he needed. That could have been a much different story had those juggles gone a little bit differently.
Jirachie's board got shaken up so bad from the Consecration.
Yeah. Well, it was really close, and you said it earlier. So close, but yet so far to take out handlocks. And that's just sort of how it plays. It
Go on and say it.
Flirts with disaster.
You can say it.
No, I'm not going to say it.
No, alright.
Because I know that as soon as I say it, then like every
time
Paladin
you watch Paladin, Paladin will win.
Yeah, and then like some pro player will come on their stream and say, Paladin is 90% to 10% against handlock.
Well, specifically, every time you play handlock, you're going to lose to Paladin.
It's going to be the curse. The curse, the I told you so curse.
Well, the good news is that you don't have to worry about handlock if you're Ozzy for a couple more games. You have Zoo versus the Warrior. This is probably the ideal matchup. I don't think you want Zoo against Hunter.
Nope.
And then you have Warrior versus Hunter. So I think Ozzy's still sitting pretty. It's an uphill climb for sure for Jirachie.
What is Jirachie holding? Is it a lemon? Is he getting ready to zest that lemon?
Actually, I found a really good zest to a Crate Barrel the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah. And if I actually did end up buying it, I would have given it to Jirachie to zest that thing.
How nice of you.
It's probably a stress ball, but who says you can't zest a stress ball?
That would I do. People at home do not zest a stress ball, especially not into anything edible.
I want to zest everything.
And if you do ingest anything that has stress ball zest on it, contact a doctor immediately.
Too zest to be stressed.
Wow.
Oh Lord.
That should be
too zest to be stressed.
Tempo Storm is now rebranding to Too Zest to be Stressed.
Oh, that's my hashtag for the next week.
Become zesty.
Become zesty at templestorm.com.
That's fantastic.
Stay ahead of the oven timer.
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess we should maybe get into this Hearthstone match here.
Yeah. Oh, he's got Harrison Jones. Oh, wait, this is not Handlock. Excuse me. This is Zoo. In fact, this is a very slow start once again from Zoo. But the good news is that Warrior doesn't really have... Oh, wow. I was like, if he goes for the Knife Juggler, he actually has a pretty decent start. But he goes for such the conservative play. Oh my goodness.
I guess this sort of plays around Fiery War Axe.
Well, it does.
But I don't think you can really... of course, whenever you play Zoo, it always feels like the Warrior has Fiery War Axe. I don't think you can just automatically assume that they'll have it in their opening hand every single time.
The assumption is that you have Voidwalker plus another 1-drop, so that way you can protect it. It's just such a safe route that you've given Warrior time to set up now.
Yeah. Yeah, this would have been sort of the same scenario, except he just would have had 2 less armor. I guess you can't really... That's not really fair to say.
Sure.
Because if he did have Fire War Axe, it would have been a lot of different situation. But, I mean, I guess in the end, it didn't really matter.
It's just interesting to see, like, a coin egg.
Egg,
You know? It's like you don't really see that.
I'm going to be really aggressive with this coin. Let me throw an egg at you.
Well, he's got Death Bite now, so Jirachie definitely has stuff at his disposal here. I think the question becomes if you want to deal with Knife Juggler at all.
And he also has, on the other side, Ozzy has Implosion with a Knife Juggler. But I don't think he's going to really get to utilize that.
I mean, you can actually shoot on your own egg.
That's very true. Wow! No, but then you're... Well,
but then you open yourself up to Death Bite.
Then Death Bite just becomes...
But you have a
so
second
much more
egg.
valuable.
I mean, it's just cool to think about. Wait, is Implosion enemy minion?
Is it really?
I don't know. Can you Implosion your own minion? I've never tried. I'm just thinking out loud. Deal 2 to 4 damage to a 1/1 imp.
Oh, no, I can't see it. It's too far up there. Our admins are any minion. Our admins just confirmed.
It could be any minion.
Any minion. Friendly included.
That's really cool.
It is really cool.
Oh man, especially with the amount of juggles.
You get a juggle from the Nerubian plus juggles for each imp that you summon with Implosion.
So that's...
At least 3 juggles.
Well, times 2. Because you have 2 juggles.
Oh yeah, well I was...
So at least 6 juggles.
In the context of this board, okay. I was thinking just in the context of...
I want to see one day, like... You get Implosion, you high rolled it with spell damage.
On your own Sylvanas.
And then you just do like 12 damage for Knife Jugglers. It's like
oh, through Nerubians.
Yeah. Jirachie's running out of time. He needs to make a decision quick.
It's tough. It's very tough.
I thought you could use Acolyte to draw. That would have been almost a foregone conclusion, but
now
he's running out of time to now even react.
Yeah,
if he drew Cool Taskmaster, it'd be too late.
Or Execute.
That's fine. The 1/2 challenge is the 3/1.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Ooh.
Dark Iron Dwarf.
Oh wow, he goes with the Implosion. Well, this is more damage up front, but he only gets 2. So this
bare
is
minimum.
Okay. Yeah. I guess Dark Iron Dwarf would have been susceptible to like a second Death Bite, but still.
So is this.
Yeah, that's true. But not, well, I guess immediately as well, because you could clear off the Knife Juggler. Well, he's got a lot of options, and I mean, he's got 20 points of heal in his hand. I mean, it's over the
that's actually quite ridiculous.
It's over the course of like 3 turns, but still, that's a lot of damage. The Zoo Warlock basically has to push through like upwards of 60 effective health if you factor in the armor ups from the straight armor ups from turns. That's a lot of health to be able to push through.
Shield Maiden is under the assumption that he just trades what's on board and he's okay with it, but we all know that's very optimistic considering there's a Dark Iron Dwarf on the other side.
That's dangerous. I don't know why he's being so stingy with that Execute, because he does have Shield Block, Shield Slam available for like a Doom Guard. Maybe not a Doom Guard on an empty board. That might be a little awkward, but Shield Block, Armor Up, Shield Slam would be a really effective way to deal with it. I feel like that Knife Juggler just represents so much threat on the board right now.
Maybe Sea Giant is what he's worried about as well.
Oh yeah, that's true as well.
Okay, so
I always forget about that.
Dark Iron Dwarf can juggle here. Do you tap? I think you do.
Yeah, I think so. Your play is just, regardless, you're not going to really be able to fill your mana efficiently. Dark Iron Dwarf's like the only play.
If it juggles on the Shield Maiden, you can use the 4 attack split across the 2 imps and the egg. If it's 5, you can use just the Knife Juggler itself. Oh, I guess he really wants to keep this as insurance. Okay, against Brawl. Oh my. That's pretty all in here.
He really wants that juggle. Well, he gets it.
Wow, Ozzy is very aggressive with this deck. It seems like whenever he's had the opportunity to, he's always tried to go for the strongest play.
Yeah, and this plays around Brawl quite a bit more. Because you're going to be left with 4/4s pretty much regardless, because being left over with 2 mana after Brawl wouldn't really allow your opponent to do much else with it. Because you wouldn't be able to Armor Up, Shield Slam, or anything on those 4/4s. They'd basically be there no matter what.
I don't know, I feel like that Owl could have been more useful, or even searching for another card might have been good.
And now he uses the Execute instead of the Shield Slam on the Dark Iron Dwarf. Well, I guess the Knife Juggler represents more potential damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. Here we go. So we finally see the Doom Guard in the deck.
And he has the potential to clear his hand the turn before Doom Guard as well.
Yep.
So this is a pretty ideal scenario for him. He's got, well, not ideal, but it's a really strong scenario. He clears his hand before Doom Guard. He's got insurance against things like Brawl or that second Death Spite. Ozzy's in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, it's a very good observation, just because Jirachie doesn't have an easy way to clear this. Man, everything's complicated by those eggs. Ragnaros?
Whoa!
On this board?
What? Okay.
Shoot the wolf.
If that hits an egg.
Oh! Oh! Well, I think you Sea Giant here.
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of it. Wow. That's a bold move to rag.
That was actually so big.
If that hits an egg, wow. Just wow.
Perfect draw. Well, sorry, never mind. 2 mana minion would have been perfect draw. Haunted Creeper would have been good.
Yeah.
Because the Sea Giant becomes 4 now. Very good positioning from Ozzy, by the way. He's making sure to put everything on the outsides that has Death Rattle and everything that doesn't have Death Rattle on the inside. Just as a small precaution in case he picks up another Direwolf Alpha.
Whoa. This is awkward. Because Shield Block, Armor Up wouldn't allow him the reach to go for the Sea Giant. And if he oh, well, that helps. And then if he Whirlwind after to try and push for that extra damage, he would have spawned the 2 4/4s.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got double Shield Block. Just kidding.
So just Shield Slam this, and then...
Yep.
Armor Smith. Cruel Task is okay too, but I think I like Armor Smith a little bit better. Either way, it's about the same effect. You're gaining some life and you're taking off. I guess you get the double Armor Smith Whirlwind effect. Wow, such good snipes. Just like avoiding the eggs.
This rag is doing some work right now.
Oh, that Voidwalker is pretty annoying.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, like what? Rag is not the worst in that situation. You know you have a lot of life gain. It's risky because of the eggs.
Oh,
wow!
Man. You have to take out the... Oh, so there's 2 choices here. You kill off Rag or you kill off the cool Taskmaster.
Or you go face. Well, he's still going to take out the Cruel Taskmaster. It's just going to be... I don't think... At some point, you kind of want to start giving up the small creatures to increase the likelihood that Rag hits your egg. but at the same time, you want to keep some to decrease the chance that it hits your Doom Guard.
Whoa, interesting.
Well, he can hide the Sledge Belcher behind 2 Armor Smiths.
You mean hide the Armor Smiths behind... hide 2 Armor Smiths behind the Sledge Belcher? I don't think we're hiding Sledge Belchers behind any Armor Smiths anytime soon.
A little bit of a mixer-upper there.
So, what if this Ragnaros hits face? And then we have... Oh man, that's just too crazy. He wants as much power on board. Is he gonna try to kill his opponent next turn? Oh man, the eggs. The eggs are gonna get their revenge.
Oh. Okay, so that Rag hitting face is, I think that's what Jirachie. Maybe not what he wanted. He probably wanted to hit the Doom Guard first. But still, this allows him opportunities to maybe push through because, the Zulok doesn't have life. They don't have life gain. So, and they usually empty their hand every turn at this point in the game. So they're going to be tapping. So if a couple stray Rag hits go to face, he could be in an opportunity where he's just dead.
Might not get to that point because I think he's going to taunt up and push through here, push the second Doom Guard, and that's just a lot of damage. That's almost too much damage. I think you also keep I was thinking of using the 1-attack minions here instead of the Undertaker. Okay, I think the result's about the net same though.
Still get 2 damage on the face regardless.
Right, it's just that you want to keep Undertaker healthy so that in case he has like, you don't want it to execute or something.
Yeah. He thinks about holding on to the Doom Guard, but ends up making the decision to go because he's still got a little bit of insurance against Brawl, and he knows that if his opponent brawls, then he's going to be getting rid of his own Rag most likely.
I think it might be time to use double Armor Smith and Whirlwind.
What would Whirlwind accomplish?
He has to draw a card though. I don't know. He might have because at this point he's got to pick up more answers, right? The double Armor Smith, you can kill off the Void Walker or the Undertaker, and you get armor. And then you use Death's Bite. Like either way, there's ways to gain armor and stay alive here. Yeah, I definitely like this. I think you have to do. This is what you have to do. I thought he was gonna do it last turn, but it seemed like he wasn't in favor. Oh man, imagine if there was a Frothing Berserker.
Wow. If he has an opportunity to use Baron Kitten with that board, that'd be pretty crazy.
He's gained 10 life. Well, 12 actually. He's about to kill off the Undertaker.
That's so much life that he's gained. We've been through both Shield Maidens, both Shield Blocks. Those Armor Smiths each just gained 5 armor. He's armored up nearly every turn.
I mean, those Armor Smiths are actually so big. They kept him alive single-handedly for another turn.
And now he's starting to take care of those eggs a little bit as well. And
alright, Ragnaros.
There's a lot of good targets here.
Snipe. No! It's the worst target! Well, what are you doing, Ragnaros?
10,
22.
18. Whoa.
26. He's so close to lethal.
28 with the Leper Gnome. Well, no, because he wouldn't be able to utilize the power of a woman damage. Do you just go for it? No, because you got to take care of those Armor Smiths. Yikes. Yikes. Well, he can he can efficiently clear the board here.
Okay, so I think we have to kill off Ragnaros, right?
I don't know. Do you?
You can't keep tapping forever. You don't have a wall of taunts.
It's true.
Oh, he's not killing off Armor Smiths. Oh man, Baron Geddon's gonna have such a field day with this. Oh wait, is he gonna kill Armor Smiths? Did he sequence this and give him 2 extra life? I think he. Oh. Because you want to kill off the Armor Smiths first.
Yeah.
So that way he gains less armor.
Oh, he's going for it. That seems... Out of all the possible plays that turn, I feel like that might have been one of the poorer ones.
So he draws a card, gains more life. Oh, man. So now he can sweep even more. How do you actually want to do this? Hold on. This is starting to get some complicated math. Do you just attack him on the chance that you get a lethal with Cool Taskmaster?
I think so. Well, it's either that or... No, I think that's too risky. Because you have to kill off that second Doom Guard or you're dead. So you have to pump one of those. No, either way, you're dead.
I think I'm okay with that. So, like, you play this, and then attack into it, the 3-1, and then play Baron again. You can kill off Doom Guard, but I think you can set up a way to potentially. You're not going to die, right?
No, yes.
Oh, if it hits Leopard Gnome. No, it can't hit Leopard Gnome. Oh, it can, because the ordering. The Ragnos was played first. So it might kill you if it hits Leopard Gnome, so you can't do that play.
I think it would kill you either way, because you're doing 2 damage to yourself.
No, I'm saying there's a chance that Ragnos hit the face, but if it killed any of the damage dealers, then you'd be okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I guess Baron Gen's not coming down. Tease.
Alright, well.
13, 15 damage. Oh, that's game!
Wow!
That is game!
And that's overkill right there.
Ozzy has managed to tie up the series.
That was a nail-biter, though. And that last turn, I guess Ozzy had that calculated, but it was risky to keep those Armor Smiths alive. I guess he knew his damage potential for the next turn, so he realized, I just need to kill off the highest threat. It seemed a little bit weird, but I think I agree with it. He gave him extra health, and it's really risky, but he knew that he had a lot of extra push left in his deck, and with the power overwhelming, he knew that he could push through.
Wow, that was actually a very exciting game.
It was.
It was a very exciting game, and
yeah.
Now the series is tied up, going into Game 3. What was the matchup here? I forgot, TJ.
Hunter versus Warrior. So Jirachie's Hunter
that's
versus Ozzy's Warrior.
So can Jirachie pick it up? He's going to be in a tough matchup if the Warrior can get off to a good start and pretty much parry any threat that Hunter puts out early on. Or if Jirachie gets another slow start. It seems to be Jirachie is a rather unlucky player. He hasn't had the best starts in the world.
Yeah, it's the Pokemon karma.
Is that a thing? A Pokemon karma?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No. Well, what is it?
It's bad Pokemon juju.
What?
Everybody knows what bad Pokemon juju is.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, me neither. I lost myself. I was trying. There was this. I don't know. There was this trend that was happening back like 10 years ago, when the Pokemon, when people like stopped collecting and the competitive scene for the actual trading card game started to pick up. Where like there was this combination of cards that you'd play. It was like second generations. There was a combination of cards that you could play that gave you like bad juju. It was like the zoo. The Zoo Warlock of the Pokemon trading card game. I don't remember. It was about
so if you played it, you're like generally accepted to be a worse player or something like that.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
It was a really long time ago. I was a young lad, and I didn't really understand the...
So you were a competitive Pokemon card player?
No, but I had friends who were.
Gotcha.
And I would sell them cards.
You also had friends that wanted to ask a girl out too, right?
Yes.
I was like that guy too back in the day. Don't worry, TJ, we've all been there. Don't worry.
No. Okay, it's a really interesting story. Because I used to sell him cards, so I can't sell cards myself.
No worries.
Jeez, Dan.
No worries, man. Game number 3 is about to begin. I know, like we've all been there too, by the way, feeling like we've beaten the zoo, and only to be stopped. Here we go. We have the Fiery War Axe in hand for the Warrior. It's a very good start. I think we're going to see whether or not Hunter has it.
We'll see what his cards are in a second, hopefully. But no Undertaker turn 1. Sometimes you want to hold on to that Undertaker against Warrior.
Right, on the off chance that he has
a
perfect response to it.
Especially if you have like Undertaker 2-1 drops, it can be tempting to just play the Undertaker in preparation for playing your 2/1 drops next turn. But you sort of get the same effect, just a little bit less damage on the board if you hold on to it and then on turn 2, Undertaker coin double 1 drop to put it out of Fireworks range.
Yeah, I've seen that before, where you like hold it until you get like triple 1 drop or something.
And then you give them the old Undertaker 1, 2, 3. What are they gonna do?
Well, wonder what trap it is. I think we're about to find out because we do have a freezing trap in hand, and it looks like it is a freezing trap.
Okay. All right. Well, the Piloted Shredder, we saw that a little bit earlier. I like this addition to Hunter because I like Piloted Shredder as a card. It's hard to deal with. It represents a lot of damage, and it also synergizes with Undertaker, and it can fit in with a little bit of a slower Hunter deck like this. It sort of fits the same slot that Houndmaster or Chillwind Yeti fit for a little while, and I think it meshes pretty well with the goals of the deck.
Oh, tracking.
Tracking. Whoa!
We haven't seen tracking in a while in Hunter.
No.
I mean, it's a very effective card, but I mean, talk about why people. I mean, TJ, you know why like Hunters cycled this out, so explain it to the viewers.
Do I really know why they cycled it out? Well,
you do. I know it too, but I just want to make sure you know it as well. And I know it. The more I talk about it, the more it sounds like I don't know.
Well, the one thing I'm just taking a stab in the dark here. I don't know if this is the exact reason, but the one reason why I hated tracking was just because
you lose
two cards.
But you can't look at it that way. You just can't, like, because those cards wouldn't have mattered until you deck out.
I agree if it's a faster Hunter, but to an extent, there are some cards in that mid-range Hunter that you might need to push through, especially in some matchups. Because there's, what if you're facing a matchup like Warrior where you need those bigger middle creatures like Savannah Highmane, and you tracking and you have a choice between like a Sludge Belcher and 2 Highmanes.
You're only saying that because you have confirmation bias, because you know you wanted those cards. Versus if tracking just said draw a card, put 2 of the cards at the bottom of your deck, it would have done the same exact thing.
But in that case, I might just play Flare.
Right. So you can. Well, Flare's 2 mana now.
Well, it's still though, but it also has the chance of get sort of a secret. Right. So it's just like a drawback for one and a bonus for the other with a 1 mana difference.
But tracking might dig for the card you need on the 3rd card. It's so good. It's still really good, in my opinion. Tundra Rhino off the web spinner also can be so good in this matchup. Just like the fact that you might have a high main with charge is quite hilarious to me.
Yeah. Well, Frodan, what is the reasoning behind people getting rid of tracking?
Oh, because, well, the most important thing for Hunter was the initial starting game curve. And a lot of times those mid-range Hunters needed to dig because the draw was very dependent on finding the right answers. You would have Unleash the Hounds with Starving Buzzard, or like you needed the kill command, or you needed the high main. So there's a lot of like conditional things, and it created a lot of consistency. But now Hunters have become all about mulliganing for the early curve, and having power throughout every single turn.
Yeah.
It's just not as necessary as it was before. It's still good, it's just not crucial compared to how it was before.
So now the deck generally meshes with each other overall, instead of just specific pieces of the deck that mesh with each other. So you're not digging for anything specific, you're just looking for...
It held the deck together very effectively.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot of times where like you would Buzzard Unleash and then tracking for like another beast, and then that beast would draw another beast, and the Drake would draw another beast. Everything was like for 1 mana, and it just got ridiculous. So like at that point, tracking was very valuable, because even for 4, 5, or 6 mana, you could still Unleash the Hounds with Buzzard. Even
in the days of tracking, I only ran 1, but that was just because I don't know.
I mean, tracking into like Hunter's Mark is just so good sometimes. Anyways, not to be too far off topic. It seems like the Warrior's into a difficult position, and she will take the Slime. That's actually the better choice here as opposed to the Sun Fury Protector. And I feel like Warrior is in a little bit of a trouble if it can't deal with the high main.
Yeah.
Because,
well, are you gonna put the high main down the next turn?
Well, I'm pretty sure that you drop one of the 5 cost minions instead.
You want to weave in the hero power to
even maybe the Tundra Rhino.
I think you might even go with the Tundra Rhino in that situation.
Right. Because the Tundra Rhino is like charge damage.
Yeah.
Plus, it sets up for whatever beast you want to play next turn. And you also have a freezing trap. So freezing trap will stop the armor smith from like popping an execute. So I think setting this up could be very effective for Jirachie. Is if you use Tundra Rhino in this situation. Sludge Belcher is pretty good too for obvious reasons. It's a very durable minion.
Yeah. Does it? Well, I guess either way you'd be leaving up the armor smith, so that can always feel a little bit rough to give your opponent the opportunity to make use of that armor smith in a way that gains him a lot of health. But of course, like we said, Sludge Belcher's still good.
Tundra Rhino is definitely more for, you know, the sex appeal. You can charge the high main the next turn.
Now what? You just sit back, throw your hands in the air.
I mean, this is more for like the sturdy, earns 50K a year and makes sure he's very responsible. He always washes the dishes before he tucks you in the bed. Like that's what Sludge Belcher is. Like nice. Tundra Rhino's the guy with the sports car and the white suits and the cufflinks. And the aviator sunglasses, Ray-Bans. Let's be real, that's what's really important.
And
here.
Sludge Belcher has a minivan.
He does.
And a lot of jean shorts.
Oh man. But Sludge Belcher is the one that'll pick you up at night if anything ever goes wrong.
Yeah.
Whenever you need bail, Sludge Belcher's there for you.
I think that went on way too long.
Well, gosh, I mean...
We could keep going.
This still doesn't solve the issue that you're dying.
Yeah.
And
now
Tundra Rhino puts 10 damage this turn. Jeez. Ooh! Well, kill command, and then,
Mad Scientist.
I think, do you want a Mad Scientist or do you want a hero power?
Huh.
I think Mad Scientist is better.
I think so too.
You might be able to weed out a draw from your deck.
And, well, I don't know. It's hard to say. I was thinking about like ways like that would play around like an Alex Straza, but that wouldn't be a good choice either way. So Tundra Rhino comes out and he pushes through, and that Tundra Rhino is sitting pretty behind a pretty big wall, and he's got 9 mana next turn, enough for a Savannah High main plus a kill command, and now Ozzy's in a situation where he can't even kill off his well, he can kill off his own Baron Geddon.
Well,
Cruel Taskmaster.
He's gonna execute, but the problem becomes how he deals with the high main. He doesn't have. He might have to drop Armor Smith. I don't know. So he can like offset the damage. If you Armor Smith, Cruel Taskmaster, execute, you can even armor up. And you'll be killing off the Misha, of course. You leave no beasts onto the field. Like, Jirachie is making this assumption that Baron Geddon will be doing enough damage.
I think he has to kill off his own Baron Geddon.
Yeah, he forgot to play Armor Smith before it.
Yeah.
That was a missed life. That actually might be really important.
I think he was dead anyway. I don't think there was any way that he could have lived. There was guaranteed 13 damage coming in next turn.
How?
Tundra Rhino.
Well, Tundra Rhino's dead. You can execute it.
Well, I guess.
So then this gives him 3 armor.
8 damage. Yeah. I guess that's right.
And he missed 1.
I forgot about the execute on the Tundra Rhino.
Well, second kill command solves that. But,
yeah. He could have gained one additional life.
If the second kill command didn't come, then it would have mattered.
Yeah. Yeah.
But unfortunately, it doesn't really matter here. And you know what? He's going to let that sink in there. Jirachie's like, well, even if I survived, I don't know if there's a chance I could have won. It's like, there's a difference here between living one more turn. So Jirachie takes a 2-1 lead, Jirachie takes a 2-1 lead, and then that's going to go to the blind pick stage where either of these guys can choose any deck they want.
Yeah, and this is an exciting part because players go two different ways. They can either pick the deck that they're most comfortable with, or really pick the deck that they think is going to give them the best chance at beating all three decks. And most players go with that second option. And in that case, what would it be?
So we have the Hunter deck, which can get shut down, but it's rather effective against some of the classes that his opponent has. I feel like Hunter is still pretty decent against like the Warrior. It's not like as bad as you used to think it is. I think it's very close to 50-50.
What about Zoo?
I think it's good against Zoo.
I think so as well.
I think it's like okay against Paladin. I think it's pretty good in the past, like very good, but the problem is now Paladin has a lot of early game consistency. Shielded Minibot, for the same reason as Zombie Chow, is like very effective against Hunter. So it could be a Rocky.
I think Ozzy might go straight for that Warrior.
You think so?
Well, it seems like the best option for him. Like Handlock could be rough. Of course, Warrior to Mirror matchup is a toss-up. It depends how comfortable he is with that. But Zoo seems to be his go-to choice, and that's what he goes to. No matter what, it seems like he, at least in both times we've seen him in blind pick, he's gone with the Zoo regardless of how he thinks it matches up. Maybe because he feels like either one, he's more confident with that one, or two, he just thinks that Zoo has great matchups against everything, or has decent matchups against everything. And so
it does.
Yeah,
it's a great ladder deck for climbing. Not only just because of the win percentage, but the speed at which you can play.
Even if it has like a lower win percentage than another deck, the amount of stars you can gain in the same amount of time with a lower win rate as Zoo is better than like a Control Warrior.
Sure.
Because you might have a 70% win rate with Control Warrior, but win games in 30 minutes, or a 60% win rate with Zoo and win in 5 minutes. In that case, it's going to net you more stars over time.
Yeah, very, very good point. Well, if it works out the same way as last time, Ozzy was down 1-2. He was up against Handlock with Zoo, and he got obliterated by double Molten Giants, as well as a little bit of a flub on his own end.
Yeah.
That caused him for some improper trading. So if we go into game number 4, and all of the things hold serve, Ozzy might be in trouble, but we've also seen some very powerful wins that this deck can squeeze out.
And we'll have to see. The opening hand for Jirachie is going to be very important. So we'll have to see if we can get that. But we saw last time Flybird had double Molten Giants and a Sunfury Protector in his opening hand, which were a huge deal going into that later stage of the game, because we saw just how much reach Ozzy had. At the end of that game, he was in a position where he was able to clear both taunted Molten Giants off. Again, it was a little bit of flub. He did it a little bit inefficiently, but just being able to have the opportunity to do that is sometimes a thing that Zoo doesn't really have the luxury of being able to do.
Yeah, it's definitely true. But we'll see. We'll see. We don't know exactly Jirachie's hand. I was trying to theorize what's going on. He's probably thinking about whether or not he can tap. Oh, well, he's got Ancient Watcher. Still refusing to play it, instead opting for more cards, so Twilight Drake will be slightly stronger. And that's fine. He's not under super heavy amounts of pressure, but he will be starting next turn because he's going to be taking at least 7 points of damage.
Well, he has the potential for a pretty big wall with Twilight Drake and then Ancient Watcher, Sunfury Protector the following turn. Jiraxis can be a pretty important card in this matchup. It can buy you a little bit more time.
It's just scary because you never know. The Zoo deck is very explosive.
Yeah, and with Implosion here, well, actually,
if it rolls low, because you always have to measure the worst case scenario, you still can kill up the Twilight Drake.
But do you want to play around the possibility of Hellfire?
Or Shadow Flame.
Well,
if you leave up the Twilight Drake, you can Shadow Flame it.
Well, I meant like if you just Implosion, even if you clear this off, Hellfire clears the board.
Wow, worst case scenario. I guess worst case and middle case is about the same net result. Base case scenario would have been so nice. This Harvest Golem would have traded in.
Job done.
Dr. Boom, not the best card to see in this scenario.
Yeah, definitely not.
Needs to get into those Molten Giants, and maybe some heal too. Draxus is good, but he needs anti-heal bot. Molten Giants, anti-heal bot is what he's looking for.
I wonder.
Or some AoE as well. He needs a Shadow Flame or a Hellfire ASAP.
Yeah, it's so complicated because he drew 2 of the heaviest cards in his deck, and he needed just anything besides that. Dropping the Ancient Watcher means it gets traded super easily by anything that gives buff, like Defender of Argus. Mountain Giant almost is a dead card too.
Yeah. And just playing the Ancient Watcher is rough.
Well,
and
now it's like a hesitation moment because Ozzy might feel tempted to kill off the Ancient Watcher anyways.
I think you do.
Because he doesn't want to evoke the Wrath of Molten. And this way he saved the Sunfury Protector.
And he's not losing that much damage either. And he's still... this way also he makes even Molten Giant a little bit awkward because he'd have 3 mana. Be throwing 3 mana.
Let's see. There's 5, 7, 10, 12 damage. Mortal Coil.
Unless he draws Sledge Belcher.
I think it's Mountain Giant time. And Pray. Pray that your opponent doesn't have Doomguard off the top. Anything else feels like a very, very weak version of what you're about to do.
Yeah.
Because if you play like Big Game Hunter and Sunfury Protector... Oh, Owl?
Gets rid of 2 power off the board. Can still... no, it still doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just play Mountain Giant, you're sort of banking on the fact that either 1, your opponent doesn't have Doomguard or doesn't get Doomguard off the top, or 2, doesn't have 5 damage pocketed in, which could come from a lot of sources.
Yeah, that is a good point. He's just afraid of too many things of dying. Wait, no, of course we're saying Mountain Giant is what he could do.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't feel like he can afford that.
Yeah.
6, 8, 10 damage right now. Assuming he juggled perfectly.
You just go for it. Juggle, Defender, or Dark Iron Dwarf, the far right imp, and that way you can still kill both.
Yep. Just taking a second just to evaluate what's the right play here. Nice juggle.
Yes, indeed. Gonna push through, and he's still, yeah.
No respect for Molten Giants.
At this point, you can't really have too much respect. Oh, the worst draw possible. Not only even if he had drawn that without a second Molten Giant or Mountain Giant in his hand, it would have been a bad draw. But with the second one, it's just completely useless. And he concedes, so wow, Ozzy's gonna tie it up. And I think it's entirely possible that we might be seeing the exact same matchup.
Right.
It's if you're Jirachie at this point, you might think, well, maybe Ozzy's probably going to go with Zoo, so maybe I should try and switch up my deck choice a little bit.
If he's going to go with Zoo again, then you have Hunter. So Hunter's a pretty strong choice.
I think that's it.
And it's really good because you always have Unleash the Hounds. You always have ways to take advantage of the board early. You know, Eaglehorn Bow is good at controlling while you're able to build up your own stuff. At the same time, though, it's very tough because, you know, you don't like losing to that too. Handlock is still pretty good against Zoo overall, especially if you get those Molten Giants. I don't know. I feel like either decision would be okay. I think staking on Handlock, I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah, I would say so as well. You have to sort of gauge though when you should call the audible and switch decks. But I would not be surprised if we saw the exact same matchup. A lot of times we see the same matchup. He actually decides to switch it up. goes for Hunter. Now, this will probably give him the best chance that he has at beating Zoo, but it's still not that much of an advantage for the Hunter player.
It's cool. This is what the system was designed for, right? In the sense that you can choose to play it. But look at that match history. Warlock and Hunter will win all of the games this series. And if Warlock wins, it's not really even Hunter's fault. It's just like Hunter won the one game as opposed to.
What is this? 3 months ago?
Or 1 month ago?
Really, 1 month ago? Was that soon?
1 month ago was GVG. Even actually, not even a month. It's been 3 weeks.
Wow, you're correct.
It's tough to think about it. That it's only been a short period of time because people are like, "I want new content," and it's like, well, guys, this GVG came out like
it just came
ago.
out. It might just be because of the holidays, and even though some people take a break from holidays, especially if you do video game stuff as a living, you take a break. But a lot of people use the holidays as a way to play more Hearthstone. So maybe people are just playing way too much GVG. Might be why the North American BattleNet servers were having a little issues before. Just too many people trying to play goblins versus gnomes.
That start from Ozzy, combined with that hand from Jirachie, he's got a great set of cards. Kill command's meh, but you know, tracking is pretty good. You know why? Because you get to find one card you want. So when you have Mad Scientist, or you have the Eaglehorn Bow, Mad Scientist becomes way stronger. It's another kill on a minion. Knife Juggler can easily get picked off by Implosion, and then you lose a lot. I think Mad Scientist is the easy pick here.
Yeah. Leopard Gnome. Not even a choice. But he's not going to have that
but
second
you discard the Leopard Gnome, TJ.
You're not going to have the second Knife Juggler.
You're not gonna get the second Knife Juggler. You're right. But you might not ever have drawn it.
That's true.
Because what if it said, put those two cards at the bottom of your deck? Then it's like it actually doesn't matter. The same concept, because you have to deck out for it to matter.
Is the wording of tracking take the next 3 cards or take 3 cards from your deck?
I think it's look at the next 3 cards. Choose one.
So effectively, you would have drawn it.
Well, you're using confirmation bias again. You had no proof of that. Okay, I don't even think Jirachie plays Explosive Trap. By the way, he plays 2 freezing.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of his deck, but every Mad Scientist that he's played and every trap that we've seen in his hand was freezing. And it's a slower Hunter.
Right, but it's fine because you can play the control game. You have ways to be defensive with Sludge Belcher, and of course you have rebound potential with Knife Juggler and Unleash the Hounds. So, lots of good stuff here for Jirachie. He attacks the face with the bow. I would have thought that he would like to kill off the Harvest Golem.
The only thing that would really punish him would be Defender of Argus.
Shattered Sun Cleric.
Oh, Shattered Sun Cleric as well. I forgot. Whoa! It's like something that you play around in Arena, but now you have to play around it in Zoo as well, once again.
Face. So 2 attacks with the face of the Eaglehorn Bow instead of controlling.
It's bold.
Very bold.
Maybe he thinks
he's gonna try to race his opponent. He's gonna coin out the weapon again.
Wow. Well, I guess with Unleash and double kill command, he feels like he has the reach potential, which is.
I don't know. There's a lot of damage in the hand of Zoo. That's also a Whirling Blade, which gives +1 attack.
And Power Overwhelming. I mean, he could push in for
a lot.
Yeah.
Let's say next turn he
just
has
8 damage to this turn.
Let's
easily.
Because I'm also feeling Doomguard this turn. Really? Okay.
I think you just want to empty your hand as much as possible.
I mean, if I'm in tune with what's going on, he has Knife Juggler and Unleash the Hounds, and I don't want to load up the board too much. But I guess he wants to use all of his resources at his disposal.
Yeah. And putting that Whirling Blaze on a 4 health creature is a pretty big deal. Whoa! He's going to put him at 11. Wow. And he's saying...
So he invites the race?
He's saying, well, if you want to race, then I'm going to win.
That definitely felt a little excessive. But now Jirachie, he's most likely going to use his Unleashed Juggle combination. That's what he's been waiting for. 4 juggles. He's got 4 damage, so he's got 8 damage to spread across 9 health. As long as these don't hit face, he's going to be in a good spot. Nope. Okay. Still good. 2 to face is bad.
Well, it's still not a terrible situation. He can clear off the Dark Iron Dwarf as well as the Direwolf.
He has to not die, but... So he kills off the Direwolf. There's going to be 3 damage remaining on board. 3 damage... plus the Doom Guard, that's 8. So, not enough to kill. And of course, he's going to lose his Knife Juggler. I don't know, I think Jirachie might have invited his opponent onto a race that he couldn't win.
That's just
he
risky.
Might even kill off the 2-1 Harvest Golem and then push because he needs a beast for double kill command.
We're not clear off anything. Well, that's it. That is it. Wow. That's just such a big risk that just fell flat on its face, and Jirachie not happy.
You know what? Good for him.
Yeah.
Most people would not have even tried that line of play. They would have definitely played the control route. It had the higher win percentage. But if his opponent didn't have a way to push in for damage the way he did, also having Whirling Blade was pretty unlucky because it's like, you know, more damage. And he had that Power Whelming and the Doom Guard, but...
and he would have put him on a clock because he had the second bow charge plus double kill command. So if he had a beast the following turn, that was 13 potential damage just from his weapon and his spells alone.
He needed a beast to be alive because he had only 6 mana.
Yeah.
So he also did get unlucky with the juggles. The juggles went 2 to face. You needed to have at most one of them hit the face for him to like effectively make sure the board was clear and keep a beast, but he couldn't. So that wraps up our 3rd series of the day, a 3-2, and Ozzy stays alive. Let's take a look at the bracket to see what happens from this point forward. Coming up on stream, we have Flybird versus Gooby Sencho. And then after that, the loser will fall to play Ozzy for 2nd place.
And of course, the top 2 players from today not only will win a little bit extra money from the Sunday Cup Challenger Finals, they will also get invited back tomorrow to compete against our 3 players from last week, Zalay, Magic Amy, and Show, as well as our invites this week, who is Hyped, Zixo, and Trump. So it's going to be pretty exciting tomorrow.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. So overall, hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. We know that we have, and partially thanks to our sponsors over at Newegg. If you go over to the link, esl.gg/Newegg Esports right here, you can check out all the cool products, discounts on Crucial, Western Digital, and Cooler Master. So storage, memory, all kinds of cool cases. Go ahead and check that out while we take a few minutes to get ready for our winners match to determine who's going to tomorrow's main event between Gooby Sencho and his opponent. We'll be right back, guys.